Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Talkn Tennis, the only place you need to be to get your tennis fix as we wrap up Indian Wells and roll on to the next 1,000 event in Miami. But I'm not here to cover it alone. I'm joined by my two partners in crime. Firstly, the man to my left, who has a new disciple in the name of Corentin Moutet after his racket-throwing efforts in a challenger tournament last week, which we're going to hear all about. It's Chrissy P. How are you, Chris?
Doing very well, Adam. And geez, wasn't that a spectacular almighty racket toss at the end of his match in Phoenix? He absolutely threw that thing into oblivion. But it's just typical Mute behavior, and fuck, he's a little sook. He just complains. I watched that match and he's just sooking and crying over every single call. It's all electronic, obviously, even challenger tournaments. And he's just cracking the shits about, the ball was in or it was out, and stopping play and just having a moan, and then clearly frustrated and not surprised to see he bloody tossed that racket in row Z.
He would have been the type of player, I reckon, to abuse a Lions person if they were around while he was playing.
I was just thinking to myself when I was watching that match that he absolutely would have been a nightmare to play against, because he just with his antics and just so hard to concentrate. Piece of shit.
Enough said. Yeah. I did find it amusing as well, because I don't remember if it was last week or the week before, but we spoke about, Chris, you told that story where you were playing in the juniors and you hurled your racket inadvertently over the fence. So you did a Mute.
I did. I really did.
Well, Mute did you? I don't know.
Yeah, he did a Chrissy P, to be honest. But honestly, my racket toss was nothing in comparison. Mine, I just sort of lobbed it over the fence. He cocked his arm and piffed it. It went like the footage that you sent to me on X. Like the cameraman or the guy with the phone recording, he lost, sight of it. It was a fierce throw.
It was like the golf cameraman trying to follow the ball and he just lost it completely. Follow Chris at Talkn Tennis on X as well if you want to see the video. And secondly, the man to my virtual right, he's the man with 4 nationalities, but no doubt he'll be jumping on the Italian bandwagon this week as they're dominating all sports in the world. It's Vajos. How are you, Adrian?
Glad to be here once again with you fine gentlemen. And yes, indeed, it was a great week for the Italians. Yeah, Sinner, Antonelli taking out the Chinese Grand Prix. He was the youngest pole sitter and not the youngest winner, but yeah, did well there. I'm not sure what the baseball one is there. What's the baseball? What was that about?
I was hoping you would tell us, Adrian. The Italian team have been dominating. There's a baseball tournament going on at the moment, and I didn't know Italians were good at baseball, but apparently they've been winning matches and doing really well. So I was hoping you're going to enlighten us a little bit more on that one.
Oh, no. They must have been playing the Who Gives a Rat's Ass Thursdays League, I think. So, yeah, not sure about that one, but the big boys, yeah, Sinner and Antonelli, yeah, all credit to them. I think Sinner will continue on doing well. I think Alcaraz will awaken the beast. I think that Medvedev loss, which I'm sure we'll get into.
We certainly will. Look, you're already preempting our Miami predictions as well. But yes, Sinner, Indian Wells, a tournament that wrapped up late last week, early Monday morning here in Australian time. It was a hell of a final. Sinner defeated Daniil Medvedev in 2 tight sets, 7-6, 7-6. Sinner got there with a comfortable victory, I guess, over Zverev in the semi-final. And Medvedev, as you touched on, Adrian, had a massive upset, defeating Carlos Alcaraz 6-3, 7-6. And it was Jannik Sinner's first Indian Wells tournament as well, an Indian Wells tournament win as well. So he's just notching up all the Masters tournaments. There wasn't a single service break, Adrian, in the entire 1 hour and 55-minute match. Both players served beautifully, and it went to 2 tiebreakers. And I think Sinner against Finesca as well had 7-6, 7-6 victory. So he had 2 tight matches, and it came through both of them really well. Chris,
I'm glad
to jump to you first, mate. What were your thoughts just on the men's side of the tournament?
Yeah, well, Sinner, he looked not shaky, but there were some opportunities against Fonseca. Had his chances to, I think, topple him in. There was a tiebreaker. I think he had 6-3 in the the tiebreak, one of the tiebreakers they played, and even Medvedev in the final, he was up 4-love as well in one of the tie breaks. But Sinner, he played those moments clutch and came back well. So, yeah, good on Sinner in the end. Too good when it mattered the most, and probably relieved that he didn't see Alcaraz in the final.
Sure. Adrian, what were your thoughts on the tournament?
Oh, I was really happy for Medvedev, to be honest. I think, given from where he's come last year, it's he's definitely turned it around. And I guess for us, it isn't a surprise that he has done so well. I think it was a surprise that he beat, that he took out Alcaraz. But yeah, not very pleased with how he went. A bit disappointed with some of would have liked some of our predictions to do a bit better, but no, it is what it is. Happy for him. Would have liked him to take out Sinner, to be honest, but I'm glad it was a tough match, like you said. No service break, which is, phenomenal.
Great matches. And yes, Sinner didn't drop a set as well for the entire tournament, which was a big achievement there. And he joined Federer and Djokovic as the only men in history to win all 6 ATP Masters 1000 hardcourt titles as well. So, yes, he's notching up on the record books. But yes, Daniil Medvedev, I think, Chris, was it you at the start of the year who said he was in for a big year?
Yes, it definitely was me. And it wasn't necessarily looking good after the Australian Open, but I mean, it was an okay run, but I would have liked for it to be a bit deeper. But he does like the hard courts, and he's been quite vocal about the courts at Indian Wells, and he even thanked the management team at Indian Wells for making the courts a bit faster, a bit truer to their nature and what they should be. And yeah, he's off to a good start this year, and hopefully he can get his ranking up a bit higher in that top 5 mark and really play his best tennis on the hard court, because that's where his best tennis lives. But so far, so good for Danny.
I just want to jump in there. You mentioned about that he thanked the organisers or whoever it was to speed up the courts. Question for myself and for the other laymen out there: how does one speed up a court?
I have no idea. I would, unless there's something to do with the paint, or if they give it a new paint job, the lines, the balls. Balls obviously play a huge difference, but in terms of sort of what can change tournament to tournament, balls are probably the only variable factor, but not too sure. Maybe it's something that our viewers or our host could look into further. But yeah, every court plays a bit different, especially conditions as well, and climate, temperature, environment as well, big factors.
If there are any tennis court experts out there listening to the pod, feel free to leave a comment. Let us know. Adrian, I would have thought it'd just be, resurfacing the court, right?
Well, yeah, but resurfacing it's still the same technical surface, isn't it?
All surfaces are different, mate.
No. Yeah.
All concrete's different. All built
Yeah.
differently.
Well, do you think they resurface the whole?
Go to science class?
I think
it's different mixes.
Maybe I was wagging that along with accounting with yourself. I didn't make it to science classes, actually, no. No, I don't know. Would they actually resurface every single... Oh, they'd have to do every single court. They'd need to be the same. That seems like a fair job to do that. Yeah, I don't know. Love to know. Maybe Greg from Cincinnati, he can let us know. Let me know in his next DM. He can surprise me.
He can reach out and let us know.
Thanks, Greg.
Adrian, you mentioned it at the top of the pod. Do you think this will fire up Carlos, and maybe he's going to come out guns blazing in the next tournament? Does he get picked off from Miami because of that?
Well, the last pod we were just talking about how Alcaraz looked like a man possessed. I don't know, he did come out and say that he's never seen Medvedev play that well before. So, no one's invincible, but I think he's just going to, it'll just get that fire in the belly of Alcaraz, maybe not take anything too lightly. Yeah, I think it'll only do him some good for the rest of the year.
I think we mozzed him last week, or I did anyway, after asking whether he was going to break the all-time record of most wins to start the season, and then he loses the next match. So I'm going to take full credit for that one. Moving on to the women's side of the draw, it was an epic battle in the final there as well. Aryna Sabalenka on a really tight battle with Chris's girl, Elena Rybakina, dropping the first set 6-3 before coming back to win 6-3, 7-6 in an epic match. Sabalenka got the early break in that last set. She led 5-3. Rybakina mounted a comeback to tie it up 5-all, but ultimately Sabalenka got the job done in a tiebreaker. Rybakina did have a match point in the tiebreaker on serve as well, which is, that sucks. You don't like that. It was a tight tiebreaker and a couple of grueling games there late in the set as well. Sabalenka got the monkey off her back, I guess you could say, against Rybakina. She hasn't had a favourable record against her. So, Sabalenka getting the job done. Chris, your thoughts on the women's final and the women's tournament as a whole? It's good to see some favourites there at the top, just dominating late in the tournament.
Yeah, for sure. Good to see some consistency with the top players, or at least with Rybakina and Sabalenka going deep and again clashing off in that final of a big tournament. But Rybakina, as she did in the Australian Open final, she started off the first set really strong. She's a real strong starter. And I think that's becoming pretty apparent in her matches lately. But there's just really not much in between the two of them. They're so evenly contested between Rybakina and Sabalenka. And, even the conditions in Tennis Paradise, California, they are pretty hot and dry conditions. And I thought it might come down to a bit of fitness towards the end, but geez, there was just nothing to split them. As you said, Rybakina had a match point on serve, had a first serve. She creamed one to her backhand and Sabalenka just gave it right back to her. And I was keeping track of the scoreline just on my phone while I was driving to work, and it was just a very long game that was being played. It was an epic one there, I think you mentioned. But I think it's fitting it went down to the wire. I mean, I think these two, building quite the rivalry now.
I think I agree. On the women's final?
Yeah, I wanted to mention that it seems like the Rybakina Sabalenka is definitely building to a big rivalry here. And I mean, in terms of late last year and this year, already facing each other. What was it? They met each other, obviously in the Aussie Open, but did they met in the finals late last year? Is that correct?
Oh, you're testing my memory now, Adrian. I've tried 2025 behind me. I don't know. I'll look that up while you continue your thoughts on the Sabalenka.
I thought they did, and I thought Rybakina, had the wood over her lately. But as you said, kind of has shaken the monkey off her back and get the W there. She's world number one for a reason. But I think these two are really starting to stand out above the rest. I don't know if it's just an early call after this year, but let's hope it continues. And it's, as you said, good to see the seeds up there late in the tournament after much of our complaining about anyone can win a women's tournament. So, all is right in the world of women's tennis.
Yes, Adrian, your memory is fantastic. Rybakina defeated Sabalenka in the WTA finals last year, 6-3, 7-6.
There you go.
Rybakina was the 6th seed in that tournament versus Sabalenka number 1. So very good memory. Yes, they are building quite a rivalry for sure, which is nice. We need some rivalries.
Yeah, I don't see any other big rivalries in the women's game at the moment, unless you're talking about like a country rivalry, like say a Pagula and a Keys or whoever else, like between, American compatriots there or whoever. But in terms of a big rivalry match, it seems like, I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, do you think there's a bigger one right now than a Sabalenka Rybakina?
Well, I'll weigh in here.
Go for it.
I think to answer your question, I think the only real rivalry is obviously Sinner and Alcaraz, but I think what makes a rivalry is not the fact that two people or players play each other. A lot of times it's the fact of the moments and the times they play each other. So if they're playing each other in big matches such as semi-finals and finals, and there's a lot on the line, that's when the rivalries matter the most. So it's, not how much, how many times they play each other, it's the occasion. And Sinner Alcaraz obviously meeting in finals because they're the best players, and now we're starting to see Rybakina, Sabalenka being in those situations where they're the last two.
Oh, yeah, I agree with that. And definitely the Sinkeraz. But I was talking more for the women's side. I was thinking, is there a bigger rivalry on the women's side compared to a Rybakina Sabalenka? But you're right. It's the moments of when they happen. And as we mentioned before, it seems like in the women's game, there's more variables or a bit more diversity in terms of the players that can reach high up in a tournament, which probably means that you get less of the same players up there playing against each other compared to the men's side. So I guess that's a factor, which I think, like I said, correct me if I'm wrong, if you think there's a bigger rivalry in the women's game, aside from them two.
Currently probably not, but I want to ask the question now to two of you. What is the biggest rivalry in the women's game?
In history?
Yeah, in history. What do you think? There's one that comes to mind, obviously coming from my era, but before that, I don't know. I want to get your take first.
I think one that comes to mind straight away would be a Serena Sharapova. Two players reaching their peak. I mean, Serena was, peak for a very long time. That one stands out straight away. I'm sure if I can think of some more with a bit more time.
I'm just thinking about top players who played off a lot against each other, and they were near the top around the same time. Serena and Venus had a bit of a rivalry. Obviously being sisters, that's going to help. Hingis and Davenport would have had countless number of matches. Yeah. Henin and Clijsters, both Belgium girls, both were near the top. Sure, they've played off in a couple of Grand Slam finals. I'm sure they've played off in a lot of key matches. They're probably the biggest ones I can think of. I think it's more harder in the women's game because there's been less women who have been in the top two, top three consistently over a very long period of time. By long period of time, I'm talking like 10 years, 8 to 10 years, where you're just near the top and then someone else is near the top and you're just playing off year after year in 1,000 finals and in Grand Slam finals or semi-finals consistently over a prolonged period of time. I think that's what it takes to build that sort of rivalry. We just probably haven't seen it in the last 5 to 8 years in the women's game.
Yeah, I think shout out to...
you could say.
Shout out to the Hingis Davenport. That definitely brings back memories. I remember that being... I was only a young lad watching them go off against each other, but that was interesting because you had Hingis, the small kind of creative player, against Davenport, the big hitter. They were always interesting matches to watch. So, shout out to that one, Adam. That was a good one.
Yeah, I think you need the contrast as well in players. And the other thing I think that helps as well is if you've got, and Federer and Nadal was kind of like this as well. You sort of have Federer, who was the number one player, and then you have the number two, number three, who was the underdog in Nadal, and he was just nipping at his heels, and he just kept beating him. First on clay, but then suddenly became on all surfaces. And you've kind of got the same dynamic with Sabelnka and Rybakina. You got Sabelnka, who's the undisputed number one. You got this pain in the ass Rybakina, who keeps knocking her off and pushing her to a limit in big matches. And I think that's what helps to actually make a bit of a rivalry as well. Or they're just exchanging wins against each other, like kind of Sinner and Alcaraz are at the moment, where you kind of just don't know who's going to win on any given day. Kind of just depends on the surface, right?
Yeah, fair shout out.
I hope that answers your question, Chris.
Yeah, it does. I just thought I'd pose the question. But yeah, I agree. Age, the first one that came to mind was Sharapova and Serena. But one that also stuck out to me was Justin Henin versus Amelie Mauresmo as well. They only played each other a total of 14 times, but it looks like 7 of those were in finals as well. So they were definitely there in the big moments.
If you go back to like the 90s and 80s, you're going to see players like Steffi Graf, Monica Seles, Chris Everett, Navratilova. Like, I mean, because those girls were on top for a longer period, they just built those rivalries consistently.
Yeah.
Iga Swiatek, has she fallen off the rails, Chris? What's going on with her? What does she need to bounce back? She's been off the rails in 2026. I saw the race to the finals rankings for the women. She is 10th at the moment. Testament to her poor start to 2026.
Yep. Form is not on her side. She's, definitely not looking good. And even the old X and Twitter community just piling it on, seeing just photos of her in training and just, there's just still pictures of her and just like looking disgruntled and upset and just trying to paint the picture of a certain narrative that, she's just unhappy and pissed off. And like a picture can say 1,000 words, obviously. But yeah, look, obviously her performance aren't, living up to what her probably expectations are. But that's tennis. Sometimes we go through lulls and go through periods where, we're not playing our best. But, she'll have her moments, no doubt about that. But, look, Medvedev, Rude, I mean, plenty of players, they go through long periods as well. They go through years before hopefully they come back. But, yeah, she needs to recapture some form as well. But this is what we're saying with women's tennis as well. Some of the top players just falling off the face of the planet, and it's just very inconsistent right now. So, yeah, we'll see what she can do. Yeah, hardcourt is one of her preferable surfaces as well. So,
well, doesn't she likes clay, doesn't she?
She does. She does as well. She is a champion at the French. But look, I think she's an all-court player as well. So I think, she's definitely a tough opponent, whatever surface you're playing her on.
She will slip down the rankings as well, and Rybakina will answer to be the new number 2 on the women's side. And then, as we touched on before, Sabalenka broke that 4-match losing streak. She also fell short in this tournament in 2023 and in 2025. So, first Indian Wells win for Sabalenka. One thing we didn't touch on last week, and I wanted to, and I completely forgot, it was the men's doubles. Didn't want to touch on anything specific other than the fact that we got some crazy pairings in the men's doubles after the, let's call it, random exhibition fantasy tournament that we sort of worked up late last year in one of our pods. And we actually got some of those crazy pairings in this tournament. I don't have them written down, so I'm going to go off the top of my head. But we got Djokovic and Zverev paired up. Sinner played doubles with Kolka. Alex de Minaur paired up with John Peers. I mean, they fell out the first round. And all these top players who had all these pairings, none of them get through to the quarterfinals or semifinals. So it was actually the pure doubles pairings that actually won out in the end, funnily enough. So maybe we've kind of answered our question once and for all on whether if you put 2 singles players together, can they actually beat a good doubles pairing?
I think the only difference there is the tournament that we conjured up here involved the 2 high-end players. I think you did say there was a Djokovic Zverev, but a de Minaur, who was it?
He was with John Peers.
John Peers, and then the Opelka and Sinner or Opelka, whoever it was. So I think that would be the only saving grace there. If you had 2 top-tier players, could they possibly challenge? I don't know. I don't think they would, but it will be great to watch.
I feel like Shelton paired up with somebody as well. Maybe I'm going to do some quick research while Chris gives me his thoughts about the tournament. Sorry, it was Djokovic Tsitsipas.
Yes,
that's right. Yeah.
So, apologies. Apologies. I got excited.
I was wanting to correct you and jump in earlier because they played quite well together and quite an odd pairing as well. And I think it's a common theme actually at Indian Wells in previous years that the top players play doubles. So I'm not sure if I don't think it's something that was just newly, introduced that these top players play, but I think in the past, it's something that's been done before where, top 20 players, they entertain that space. So good to see. Well, would love to see more of it as well in other thousands tournaments and tournaments where it's actually, it means something. And it's just good viewing, good for tennis all round. But at the same time, to play devil's advocate, I could understand the desire to not want to play doubles as well and just focus purely on your singles and focus on other aspects such as recovery and things like that. So, yeah.
I think that's an interesting point. How seriously did those singles players take the doubles? You said, Adam, that none of those top players made it to a quarter or made it far. Was it just more of like a warm-up thing for him? Were they taking it seriously? Were they going for hell for leather? Or is it just more of it's got to do it for the sake of doing it?
Well, mate, you cross that white line, you go onto court, there's prize money on the line. You can't tell me it's an exhibition game. You're taking it seriously. I don't care what you say.
Yeah. Do some of those top players need...
seriously?
Do they need the extra cash? Like, is Sinner entering it saying, I'm going to take an extra, whatever, 100 grand here? I don't know. Chris?
It's not as binary and black and white. I don't think you can just say, I'm taking it fully serious or not taking it serious at all. I mean, they're there, but they're probably invested 70% as well. I mean, they're not going to throw them. Yeah, I think so. I mean, they're still going to play quite well, but it's doubles as well. Like, you don't need to be exhausting yourself, and you can still play a very smart game and be a dangerous opposition as well. So, I think, they're probably putting in 70% as well. So there's degrees of how serious they are taking it as well. They're not doing it for prize money, I can tell you that. Maybe it's just Bassiz because he's absolutely shit out these days and he probably, needs to fund his lifestyle. But for the others, probably not so much.
I expect more from you, Chris. Mate, you take a friendly against me more serious or just as serious as a competitive doubles match on a Tuesday night. I mean, to think these top players aren't going out there on the doubles courts and wanting to win and trying to win at 100%. I respectfully disagree.
Agree to disagree.
They don't have the doubles craft. Agree to disagree. Some of the other pairings, just to round out that conversation, Medvedev and Elena Rybakina paired up, Khachanov, Rublev, the Russian pair, and then Auger-Aliassime and Sebastian Korda as well paired up, the two big serving giants. They didn't go anywhere though, so
that was
not so much for that.
The Medvedev teen one was the one that I remember seeing it. Medvedev, there was a ATP, they made some video recently about say something nice about someone they had to pick. I don't know if you boys saw it. They had to pick a player, and then they had to either pick red or green. Green, say something nice. Red, say something spicy. And Medvedev was I'm picking my favorite player on tour. He picked Lerner. I think it's great that he's embracing the fact that Teen has played so well against Medvedev, took him out a couple of years ago in the Oz Open. I think it's a great little, I don't know, like a mentor, even though they're a mentor type thing because of age and experience, even though Lerner's doing very well against him. I know, I thought it was great to see.
We mapped this year at the Aussie Open, Adrian. So, Medvedev's not holding a grudge, that's for sure. They lost to the eventual runners-up, of course, Rinderknech and Vachereau, our Shanghai finals last year. And they lost to Frenchman Manuel Gounod and Argentine Androzzi, who were the eventual winners of the men's doubles, despite all those wonderful pairings. I just thought it was interesting. It was good to see some wacky pairs. But yes, Chris, to your point, it's not something we haven't seen before, but I just enjoy it.
Well, it's definitely got us talking about doubles, hasn't it? And that's the thing. You get these big singles players playing, and it's going to generate some talk and some views out there. Yeah. So it's definitely worked.
Yes, and then on the women's doubles as well, Townsend and Siniakova defeated Daniilina and Krunchek. And then on the mixed doubles side, I just wanted to mention this. My girl, Belinda Bencic, won the mixed doubles with another Italian victory, Adrian. In the 10-7 set tiebreak, beating top seeds Lloyd Glasspool and Gabriela Dabrowski. So that is our doubles wrap-up and our wrap-up for Indian Wells as a whole. Adrian, do you want to add anything else to that as well, other than a round of applause?
No, I like that wrap-up. Not much else to say.
Sorry. Well, get ready because I'm going to come to you soon, Adrian. I want to hear your thoughts about Miami, not just your winner. I want to hear who's your man and who's your woman to watch for the tournament as well. I want a bolter. I want someone who's going to make a semi-final out of seemingly nowhere. So you Google that while I tell our audience at home about Miami. Miami was meant to kick off, I think yesterday, Chris, from memory. That qualifies at the start of the week. I think today was meant to be day 2, but we were washed out with rain and there's been no play at all. So we are still in the very early rounds of the Miami tournament. Jakub Mensik is your defending men's singles champion. Won this tournament last year, and he wasn't even seeded. So just proving that winners can come from anywhere, even on the men's side as well. So funny how that works. Meanwhile, Sabelnka is your defending champion on the women's side, presumably the number 1. Venus Williams, Chris will be happy to hear this. She's received a wild card for this edition, marking 25 years since her 2001 Miami title, which is just fantastic. I saw a stat the other day, Chris. I think you're all over. I think she's lost like 24 of the last 25 matches or something like that. It's like, look at this charity.
Like, how much more evidence do you need just to know that you should have just quit while you were ahead? But no, your last remaining matches will be forever embedded and, memorialized in losses.
With that, Chris. Adrian, a couple of your favourites have withdrawn from the tournament. Djokovic withdrew just before the tournament started after sustaining a right shoulder injury that he suffered at Indian Wells. He could potentially fall down the rankings as well, with Zverev potentially overtaking him depending on how he performs in this tournament. And Adrian, your other man, Lorenzo Musetti, not ready for this tournament after he's, in hindsight, not an unsurprising first round exit. So I think maybe he's saving himself for the big clay season. Adrian, I don't think Carlos is going to win this on the men's side, but outside of that, who's your bolter for the tournament? You can't say Musetti because he's not playing. So you got to give me somebody else on the men's side.
That would have been my second. Oh, yeah, it would have been up there.
Who are you going for? Who are you liking?
Oh, well, I'm liking Medvedev now.
Keep an eye on.
But no.
You can't say Medvedev. You can't pick a guy who's just on a run like that. It's too obvious.
It is too obvious. I'm going to go. I reckon Shelton might go. I reckon Shelton might go deep.
Any specific reason? Or are you just going home crowd advantage, Miami? Seems like he's sort of vibe. Is he just going to go well?
I think he suits a Miami vibe. The home crowd definitely. I don't think Fritz will do anything. I think he'll keep on sliding down. But yeah, I think it suits him. He'll play on that home crowd advantage. I think he's Stewie due for another big one.
He was out pretty early last week, Adrian, in Indian Wells. He was potentially under the weather. He was meant to play doubles, didn't play doubles actually. He was scheduled to play. So you're picking a guy who's potentially suffering a bit of injury. So I like your bravery.
I think that's right. An early exit. He's had time to think about what's happening. He's ready to come out firing. So that's my outsider.
That's your pick. I like it.
I would of course love the
pick on the men's side.
Yeah, looking at the draw, it's hard to go past the Americans, but I'm going to go something completely left of field. I mean, what do you think? He's not going to win it, but how deep in the tournament do you think does it need to be in order to be deemed a good call?
Depends on, like, if you're picking somebody who's not seeded, if they make it quarters, I'll give you a big tick for that. Even the round before, I can almost give you a tick. you're going to pick Medvedev, he needs to be making the final, right? If you're picking
Yeah.
Ben Shelton, he's going to make at least a semi before I'm going to give you a pass mark. If he makes a final, I'll give you a big tick. It just depends on who you pick.
Well, look, I just like the way he played at the Aussie Open. I'm just trying to find his activity, what he's done since. And yeah, it's not very good.
Looking up his activity.
Yeah, it's not very good. But I'll say it anyway, because I reckon he'll cause some upsets. I'm going to go Botic van der Sloot. He's got Shapovalov first round, and I reckon he'll beat him, and then he'll play Fritz and the next, and I reckon he'll beat him too. Botic he's a very underrated player. He's a giant killer. He is the epitome of someone who can knock off any player on their day. He's probably one of the only few players ever to have got some big scalps. That he's beaten the best in the biggest of occasions. So I'm going to go him. Botic van der Sloot. He'll probably maybe around the 16 if he's lucky. If not him, maybe my second pick will be Nakashima if I'm allowed a second pick.
I pick Nakashima again. You already had him last week. It's a really left field pick. I'll tell you what, if he gets through Fritz, I'll give you a tick. How's that sound?
I like it.
That's the deal. 65 is his current ranking. His activity doesn't
matter. Doesn't matter. It could be 465. It doesn't matter. It's Botic, mate. He doesn't play for rankings. He plays for the occasion, the moment.
Is he going to try though? That's the thing. Because apparently some players don't try.
Only for doubles, mate.
For doubles. He might be playing doubles and the Schlupp. We just don't know. It's left field. I like it. It's going to give us somebody to follow for the tournament. That's for sure. I did see him on one of I can't remember which X page I was looking at. It was one of these degenerate gambling X pages that I unfortunately follow. They had him as a bit of an outsider roughie to pick in the first round. Maybe it was actually Chris's X page who might have had that prediction now that I think about it. Follow Chris at Talkn Tennis on X as well if you in between tumbleweeds want to hear about some left field picks for the upcoming tournaments. Adrian, I've given you enough time to scour the women's draw to come up with a name that's not Svitolina on who you think could have a good tournament this coming week. Although Svitolina would be a good pick as well. Semi-finalists at Indian Wells last week, so she's having a good year. Then might go bench, that's for sure.
Yeah. I'm going to go the Ukrainian Marta Kostyuk. She's ranked 28th. Yeah, she's ranked 28th at the moment. Her form has been, okay. She's lost in her last 5 matches. She's lost to Rybakina. She's lost to Sabelnka. But she has taken out Townsend and Pegula. So I think it's a fair shout. I think she'll, it's a bit of a, who knows, really. But I think she might go deep. What's my pass mark here?
What's your pass mark? Let me think about your pass mark. But I was going to ask you, what's her draw look like?
Don't know. She's got a draw. No research. I don't need to look at the draw, really. I think she's playing a qualifier first up. So is that right? That's all I need. 29 seeds. She'd have to make a quarterfinals for me to give you a big tick. I think that's a quarters.
That's a fair result. But if she knocks off one of the top 2 en route, which potentially might have to get there, maybe you get a pass mark for that as well. So let me come back to you on that. And I'm going to go quarterfinals. I think if you're seeded outside the top 15, and we're going to pick them as a bolter, they kind of have to make the quarterfinals for it to work.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair enough.
Quarterfinals is a pass mark for me. I want to be sitting here this time next week and previewing her match in the final 8.
Yeah, fair enough.
Chrissy P.
Yes.
One of your favourites. Wow.
Yes, I do. Can't pick her. She is one of my favourites. But I'm going to go with the American in Anamasova.
Oh.
I'm not sure if it's because she's, I don't know, her alcohol advertisement campaign is sitting somewhere in my subconscious, and that's why I'm picking her as my outsider. But she needs
so much in my life this week.
No, jeez. Yeah, but I'm picking her. She needs to start making some inroads in these bigger tournaments and start to play like a number 6 seed or some number 6 ranked player as well. So she needs to make a mark and start hitting some form as well.
Yeah, she needs to lay off the tequila that she's been advertising and actually focus on some tennis and maybe save the tequila for the after party. Adrian, did you catch some of her photo shoots for the Lalo tequila that her and Zizu Bergs put up this week or last week?
I definitely saw some photos. Whether I knew they were about advertising alcohol or not was beyond me, but I definitely saw the photos, and that's all I need to see. And yeah, very impressive. That's all I need to see.
As you know, I frequent Reddit as my social media platform of second choice after X, of course. I just need to put it out there. The number of snowflakes on Reddit having the biggest sook and whinge of their life because a athlete was promoting an alcohol brand.
Oh,
my Lord, you people need to grow up. You people need to grow a sack and grow the fuck up. I mean, honestly, like, it's just ridiculous. It's alcohol. It's fine. Professional athletes have been sponsoring alcohol for decades. I mean, just grow a sack and stop being a snowflake and maybe go outside, touch some grass. It's ridiculous. It angers me. And I let them all hear about it. On Twitter, on X, on Reddit.
I'm going to agree with you, Animal, because the amount of people are just equating these advertisements as players now promoting alcoholism. How can you just, skip a few levels? And if I promote a beer, I'm not promoting you get fucking blind, fucked up your face and, smash drunk. That's not what they're promoting. It's the people, like you said on Reddit, are just lost their minds completely. And fuck, man, just some players that want to earn some cash, I guess, and just promote something. Fucking hell, mate. It's either they're promoting war or, something fucking ridiculous. It's alcohol.
Yeah, like you said, Chris, it's like, she's not promoting going out there and just getting hammered and whatever. And, alcohol's not illegal. If you want to drink, go and drink. If you don't want to drink, don't drink. Jokes aside, I haven't gone out and smashed tequila in the last week just because Aryna Sabalenka has been advertising it. Takes myself responsibility and just own it for yourself. You want to drink, drink. If you don't want to drink, don't drink. Like, I just think the whole thing's ridiculous. Just have to put it out there. Well, maybe Chris would bring it up if he saw some of my savage replies on Twitter over the last week.
Yeah, as per usual, they've been hostile. Let's just put it that way. But you're just staying true to your form, Animal, and we wouldn't have you any other way.
Someone's got to do it. And yes, if you haven't seen the photos, go and take a look. There's some good viewing. So hopefully she can get out of the pool and focus on the court this week for Chris's sake. Chris, I'm going to need at least a semi-final from Aryna Sabalenka for that to be a pass. I'm not sure what her seed is for this tournament, but is she in the top 10?
She's 6. She's number 6 seed. And I tell you what, if she makes the final, I'll buy a bottle of that tequila. All right, just out of
I said semi-final. I said semi-final.
No, I'm saying final. If she makes the final, I am buying a bottle of that tequila, and I'm going to be drinking it on next week's pod.
She wins the final. We should recreate the photo shoot of you, Chris, with that bottle as well, and we'll
yes, please. Somewhere.
How about we just do it if she makes a round at 64? I think she's got to buy.
Yeah, we can do that after Chris gets his tattoo as well that he owes us for this year too. Chris is in debt this year. He's going to get some tattoo and a bottle of Lalo tequila. Silence means he agrees.
Yes.
Yeah. Unless we had anything else, we're nearly at the top of the hour mark, which means I think it's time for Battle of the Spuds. Gents, did you have anything you wanted to add on anything at all before I put you both through the ringer?
I think you know where Adrian and I stand, Animal, in terms of the quizzes. I mean, you've got some form you need to continue and improve on. So it's not so much us that's under pressure. I think it's you, young man, that will be under the microscope for tonight's pod and the quiz.
Did I not redeem myself last week? Am I not redeemed?
It takes more than 1 week to redeem yourself. I'm sorry. This is episode number 18. So I think you, my friend, will be under the microscope tonight. Best of luck to you.
All right, well, let's get that microscope and get going then. It is that time of the pod for Battle of the Spuds. Thank you, Adrian.
Nice.
Today's edition of Battle of the Spuds. Gentlemen, what did I say last week? What hints did I give you about Battle of the Spuds? In terms of what we could
something about the Miami Open.
Did you do any homework on Miami, Adrian?
Oh, yeah. You wouldn't believe
How
it.
many hours did you put in studying the Miami tournament?
Almost got laid off. I was too busy firing up, making Excel spreadsheets, looking at data, analyzing. It was like a fucking FBI case in my classroom. Kids learn. I tell you what, you can ask my kids anything about the Miami Open. They're going to fucking nail it, mate. Ask them how to do ask them how to do the multiplication vertical algorithm. They got no idea.
Well, it puts Adrian in the box seat for.
But they know the history of.
Chris, what about
They
you?
know the history.
How much homework did you do?
Well, after hearing Adrian's deep dive into the Miami Open, I think I'm fucked because I haven't done nothing.
All right, well, very good. Adrian, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but I'm gonna rug pull you. Today's edition is not going to be about Miami, so fuck you both. Well, more fuck you, Adrian. Chris, I'm disappointed. I wanted you to do some homework, so then I could rug pull you. Today's edition is going to be Battle of the Spuds. Who has more?
Oh.
Who has more? It's a bit of a play on a quiz type that we did last year where we said, who got higher? Where we picked two names and you had to tell me who had the highest ranking over their career.
That was a good one.
A little bit different. It's going to be, it was a good one. So I've expanded that. We're going to be hitting different categories and we're going to be guessing who has more. So 6 questions and then, of course, everyone's favorites, part of the quiz, who am I? Gentlemen, are we ready?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
We're ready? Very good. Chat box is open. Remember, if you're listening at home, open your chat box, open your comment box. Multiple choice, you know what to do. Thank you for all the emails last week and all the responses. Just spam letters in the comment box. That's all I want to see. I want to see A, B, C's, and D's everywhere. I'll add your scores up. I'll let you know how you did. Probably better than these 2 spots.
I reckon.
Gentlemen, we're ready. Let's go. Question 1. Instagram followers. Who has more Instagram followers? A, Naomi Osaka. B, Rafael Nadal. C, Nick Kyrgios. Or D, Aryna Sabalenka. Who has more Instagram followers? A, Osaka. B, Nadal. C, Kyrgios. D, Sabelnka. Which of these famous tennis players has the most Instagram?
Good question. It's a great question.
It is. It is. Adrian should know this because, of course, he is on Instagram at Real Dick Pics on Instagram. Follow him and send him a private DM. Adrian, the king of Instagram, the king of Dick Pics, he's locked in Aryna Sabalenka. Chris has locked in B, Rafael Nadal. The answer, of course, is B, Rafael Nadal. He is the undisputed king of tennis on Instagram with over 21 million followers, comfortably leading Serena Williams, Novak Djokovic, and Roger Federer. Tried to throw you there by throwing some random look at me type people. Saka's a good one. Saka's a good one.
Yeah.
Saka's a good one. And Chris, I wanted to chime in before when you were talking about great rivalries in women's tennis. I wanted to say you and Osaka is a great rivalry in tennis at the moment, just with your hatred. I think that's a great rivalry for tennis.
We've got a long way to go, mate. We're only getting started.
I think Danielle Collins wants to enter the chat here.
Lordy Lord, the language on this man, on Danielle Collins. Chris leads today's edition of Battle of the Spuds. Who has more? 1-0 as we go to question 2. Question 2. Olympic hardware. Who has more total Olympic medals across singles, doubles, and mixed doubles? Is it A, Andy Murray, B, Serena Williams, C, Venus Williams, or D, Novak Djokovic? Who has the most Olympic medals across singles, doubles, and mixed doubles? A, Murray, B, Serena, C, Venus, D, Djokovic. Who has won the most Olympic medals?
That's tough.
Good thinking.
You had to throw
Could
it to
be
the Williams
age
Just
brothers.
holding his head. He's got two fingers on his eyes. Chris is just
Maybe.
smiling, baffled, thinking, where does the animal come up with these stupid questions? I think that's what he's thinking about, because I've seen their chat boxes and there's nothing coming through at all. We've finally got some answers. I reckon about time. Chris has locked in A, Andy Murray. Adrian's locked in C, Venus Williams. The answer is C, Venus Williams. That is correct. Well done, Adrian. I wouldn't have got that in a million years if you'd asked me that. Venus has 5 total Olympic medals. What do you know, Adrian? Tell me.
Well, I knew Murray was a definite. I knew he's won, but I didn't know how many. And I thought the only reason I got this was pure guess. You put the two Williams sisters in, and
They're playing doubles.
But yeah, I thought Serena's more of the favourite out of the two to win. Yeah, I just thought I'd go for the outsider. I thought that was your logic behind it.
No real logic. Venus has 5 total medals, 4 gold and 1 silver, and Serena has 4, all gold. So it could have very easily been one way or the other. So yes, Venus Williams, a Olympic specialist. Maybe she's waiting for the Olympics, Chris. Is there Olympics this year? Or is that 2028? She's going to be waiting a while. She's going to be nearly 50, I reckon. Specialty.
I think she'll be the
2028, the Olympics?
Yeah, 28.
Potentially. 28, yeah, she's going to be waiting a while. Question 3. Family. Which of these players has more children? A, John McEnroe, B, Andy Murray, C, Roger Federer, or D, Kim Clijsters? Which of these players has the most children? A, McEnroe, B, Murray, C, Federer, D, Clijsters?
I could only hope that McEnroe didn't have a lot of kids, because we don't need more of people coming from his lineage.
Weirdest thing you said in this pod, Chris.
Thank you.
You've both locked in. Yes, you have. Adrian, did you lock in Kim Clijsters? Do I read that correct?
I did. That is correct.
Okay. It is correct. Adrian has locked in D, Kim Clijsters. Chris has locked in C, Roger Federer. Chris, I got some bad news for you. It's A, John McEnroe. John McEnroe has 5 biological children and 2 stepchildren as well.
Oh, a couple of John Snows.
Federer,
Not bad.
Federer, of course, has 4 children. Andy Murray has 4 children, and Kim Clijsters has 3.
Oh, wow.
Record. So don't ask me how old they are and how far they are from a tennis court, but yes, Chris, there is some McEnroe lineage floating around.
It's not the news I wanted to hear. Can the media just stop giving him a microphone, please? Because he needs to just stop talking when it comes to tennis, because he's just making an idiot out of himself. He doesn't know what he's talking about outside of like the top, probably 3 players on the men's side. Anyway, we move on. I digress.
So where do you stand on Jim Courier as a commentator?
He's the GOAT.
He's the GOAT, okay. He divides opinion. And I was surprised, because I think he's all right. I don't think,
yeah, I think it's great.
He's the GOAT, but I think he's good. Yeah, he gets ragged on a lot. I don't understand why.
Yeah, I don't get why.
He's got good tennis IQ. He reads the game quite well.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Any listeners who are listening and don't like Jim Courier, just let us know in the comments why you don't like him. Or if you do like him, tell us why you like him. I'm keen to know. Yes.
Maybe Kevin.
Question 4.
Maybe Kevin from Milwaukee can stop sending me dick pics and actually answer one of these questions. Outrageous.
How full are your DMs? How chunky? How many, you wake up in the morning? How many unread messages do you get?
It's a full-time job. This Instagram dick pic gig, Taylor.
How many of them?
Another reason why I'm almost laid off. Because it's me sending the dick pics out. That's why.
It's at Radio Dick Pics, if you want, on Instagram. Want to open correspondence with Adrian via Instagram. Sorry, Chris, you were going to jump in with something?
Yeah, I was going to say that for every dick pic that Adrian gets, he has to send one back. So he's been just, it's so busy. He has to just drop his dax wherever he is and just fucking take a quick dick pic.
It's like that app that went viral a couple of years ago where you had to, it was like, you had to take a selfie of yourself.
Yeah,
Take a selfie, obviously, wherever you were at that point in time. Yeah, it's a bit like that, only for the dick pic region. You know,
That's an app. That's an app.
it's a real app. You're at work? No. You got to do
it. Don't care. Present them.
Chris, you got plenty of time on your hands. Maybe you can vibe code that app over the weekend and get it up and running. Yeah, you've got a test subject right here on the pod.
Hey, if there's any software developers out there that want to go 50-50, hit me up.
You can just vibe code it, Chris, over the weekends. It's possible. Make no mistakes. Moving on. Question 4. Tying the knot. Which of these tennis legends has had more marriages? Is it A, Andre Agassi, B, Chris Everett, C, John McEnroe, or D, Pete Sampras? Which of these tennis legends has had more marriages? A, Agassi, B, Everett, C, McEnroe, D, Sampras. They're both thinking very hard. This is looking behind.
Can you say the name, just the names again? Sorry.
Age wants a repeat for the second time, which will make 3.
Agassi, Everett.
It is A, Agassi, B, Chris Everett, C, John McEnroe, D, Pete Sampras. Which of these tennis legends has had more marriages? Today's edition of the quiz, of course, is who has more, which will seem ironic in a minute. Chris has locked his answer in after presumably a quick Google search because he's just taking his sweet time.
I didn't. I'm just thinking, like, who's the biggest scumbag really in that list?
Well, Adrian has locked in the biggest scumbag on that list. It is C, John McEnroe, is his answer. I'm not saying that's correct. Now, Chris has locked in B, Chris Everett. The answer is not McEnroe. It is B, Chris Everett. Chris, you have got that one correct. Good work cheating on that Google search. Very well done.
I can show you my history, son.
Yeah. I don't want to see your search history, to be fair.
I don't know
what's going on that computer.
I don't want anyone to see it, but I can tell you I didn't involve that. It's not worth the bottle of water that AI has to waste on
Sever's been married 3 times to tennis player John Lloyd, skier Andy Mill, and golfer Greg Norman. Agassi and McEnroe being married twice, while Sampras only married just once to Miss Veronica Vaughn, of course.
One hot piece of ice. Whoa-wee!
Those who know. Those who were born in the 80s, let us know. Except Chris, he was born in the 90s, but he grew up quick.
What kind of animal would eat 30 sacks of lunches? I know. I fucking know. How dare you?
I'm not saying, mate. You were before your time, Chris. You're in our generation, not your generation.
Thanks,
Chris, good guess. That's just going to do a quick tally of the scores very quickly. Score check. Chris, I think you lead 2 points to 1 on my count. Say it surprisingly.
You do.
I forgot to mention as well, Chris, you are leading the 2026 Battle of the Quiz 4-3 as well. So, got to mention that at the start. But yeah, you are leading, surprisingly. So, I'm secretly married for Adrian.
Yes, we all know that.
Secret now. Question 5, career earnings. Which of these Grand Slam winning ATP stars has the least total career prize money? Who has less? A, Stan Wawrinka, B, Daniil Medvedev, C, Andy Murray, or D, Juan Martín del Potro? Which of these Grand Slam winning ATP stars has the least total career prize? A, Wawrinka, B, Medvedev, C, Murray, D, del Potro. Who made less cash in their career? They won a Grand Slam. They
2-horse race.
Compared to
what was del Potro? D?
Yeah.
Potro was D. You both said Del Potro. You are both correct. That is correct. Del Potro earned just under $26 million during his injury-shortened career after, of course, winning the 2009 US Open. Wawrinka has around $37 million, Medvedev a tad over $40, and Murray over $64 million in prize money. That is, of course, in US dollars. That is a point for both of you, taking the scores to 3-2 with one question to go. Rice Court Royalty. Who has more Wimbledon singles titles? Is it A, Pete Sampras, B, Novak Djokovic, C, Roger Federer, or D, Martina Navratilova? Who has more Wimbledon singles titles? A, Sampras, B, Djokovic, C, Federer, D, Navratilova. They both said.
Roger.
If you think correct, it is Martina Navratilova with 9 Wimbledon singles titles. So I'm sorry, lads, you both get that one incorrect. Chris looks disgusted with me at the moment. Not happy.
Lost for words. I don't know what
Disgusted
to
with
say.
me or disgusted with yourself? You shouldn't be disgusted, Chris, because you lead Battle of the Spuds 3-2 as we go into the Who Am I?
She had no right destroying or, toppling Federer's record. How dare she? It's just disgusting.
Anyways.
Disgusting.
Right, lads, we ready for Who Am I? Remember, your names are your buzzers. And if you're playing along home, as always, just yell your name really loudly, as loud as you can, top of your lungs, no matter where you are, in public, at home, in the car, at the petrol station, paying $300 for fuel, wherever you might be. Just yell your name, yell out the answer, and yeah, I'll let you know if you got it right or not. Gentlemen, we ready?
Let's do it.
Chris looks ready. Chris looks ready for bed. Chris looks ready to watch the second half of the footy. Maybe I'll check the scores as well while I read this out. Who am I for 5 points? I am a Southern California native born in Irvine, and before fully committing to the grind of the Pro Tour, I spent a brief stint playing college tennis right down the road for the USC Trojans. For 4 points, I'm a back-to-back champion at the prestigious USTA Boys 18th Nationals Championship.
Chris.
I heard you, Chris. Chris, who am I?
Learn it to you.
I didn't actually hear that, Chris. I'm actually not.
I
didn't hear that.
TN.
I said Nakashima.
Learn a TN. Nakashima is not correct, unfortunately, Chris. That's a shame. No, I heard you. Learn a TN. That is correct. Well done, Chris. 4 points.
Thank you.
And today's winner of Battle of the Spuds. I put one right in your alley, Chris. I put it right in your hitting zone. 4 hands, just above waist high, just ready to slap down the line. Very good, Chris. Well done.
I'm very lucky. I would not have known that because I was doing my research in just you were talking about like top players like you think would go far, and I was just looking up some random players, and I clicked Learner TM before, and it said he was from Irvine, and when he said, "Oh, from Irvine," it said Irvine. I'm like, "Fuck, who was from Irvine?" And then I think it was from TN. Then he said USTA Boys College Tennis. Yeah, fuck it, let's go TN. Wow. Lucky, very lucky.
Very good. Very good. 4 points. It's going to be a record, I think, for the Who Am I? Someone locking in 4 points, with the exception, of course, of the infamous Pagula debacle that we shall not speak about 2 weeks ago. Excluding that, of course, that's got to be some sort of record.
Gotta love Irvine. That's all I can say.
I love Irvine.
Shout out to the folk in Irvine.
Shout out to Greg from Irvine.
You want to say?
Shout out to Greg from Irvine. Well, he's our number one stakeholder, actually, in the US. Is
this the same Greg?
He's been listening. The numbers suggest he's listened to last week's pod on 4 occasions, which is a bit disturbing. So who knows what's going on? But Greg, we thank you for your service. So thank you for that. He thinks break point means the players take a breather for a break. So he doesn't know his tennis, but he loves listening to this pod. So we appreciate you, Greg. So thanks for that, mate. Amongst the massive dick pics, obviously.
That's without saying. Yeah, we're thankful to Greg, everyone in Irvine, Massachusetts, Virginia, Utah, California, just everybody who listens.
Yeah.
Adrian.
None more than Greg.
None more than Greg. He's our number one.
No, 100%.
He's our number one fan. Thank you for the donation to the podcast as well, Greg, as well. Private donations you sent to Adrian every other day. Adrian, I feel like for the last 5 weeks now, all I'm hearing is you apologise to the folk of USA. I'm just wondering, when are you actually going to pull your finger out and actually do something in this Battle of the Spuds? Because you were on you're on a bigger losing streak than Venus Williams at the moment. It's actually quite worrying. You might just have to do a solo battle of the Spuds with Chris and just challenge him because he's just caping you 5 weeks in a row. Is actually embarrassing.
In my defense, I think you've actually favored Chris with the responses. Last week was Rybakina. This week is TN. What are you doing? Of course he's going to get those.
Well, you had first dibs on last week. You jumped in before me and you fucked up. So I just want to say that. I mean, I played it very safe and you jumped in and for like 3 points and I just saw it to the bitty end. But that's just how Who Am I works, mate. So.
Was it last week? What are you talking about?
Who was last week?
Oh, last week, whoever it was, though, he jumped in too early and.
There was a Rybakina.
I've done Rybakina before, but it was not.
Mm-hmm.
There was Dominic Thiem as well, where
it was embarrassing. That was the start of your downfall, Spire.
It was actually, yeah.
It was actually.
Just couldn't remember his name. Just couldn't remember. I'm revisiting trauma.
It was Cameron Norrie right in your fucking wheelhouse. What do you want? He's your man. This is yours. I usually favour 1 week for one guy, 1 week for the next guy. You know, I'm giving you players from like the 90s and 2000s. It was the Croatian I gave you. I think I Goran 1 week. I don't consider Norrie was yours. That's yours. It's 1 week is Chris's, like today. The next week is yours. Rybakina was for Chris. Whenever we did Rybakina, that was for Chris.
Oh,
what you want, mate? Did Sabelnka one day? That was for you as well.
Yeah, well, I got those, didn't I?
It's gonna look next week. It'll be for you. We'll go back to you next week. So
thank you.
Scrub up on your Croatian and Chichia players from the mid to late 2000s, and
yeah,
might be in the ballpark. It might be a current Chichia player. You just never know.
That's it.
Be an Italian.
All right. Well, yes, that will be. I'll brush up on my nationalities, tennis players. Brush up on their history. Any clues on next week?
You, Adrian.
Yeah.
Maybe
any clues on next week's quiz?
Maybe it won't. Maybe it's Miami. Maybe it's not Miami. Maybe it'll be Miami. I'll tell you what. If you study and do actual homework, not pretend homework, I will give you Miami questions.
It's going to be
Miami. See what happens.
It's going to be Botic Van Dijk because he's going to make the quarters and then he'll be the talk of the pod all week. You watch. Chris will be like 6 in a row. He'll be peaking. He'll be flying.
If Van der Zandschlop goes on a run, he could very well be the Who Am I. So there's a hint. You know, if someone's in the news and is popular and is, you know, someone we're talking about or goes on a run, they could pop up on the Who Am I. So you just got to think laterally, guys.
You just got to think like Adam. You just got to think, I'm a stupid piece of shit. My name's Adam. Who am I going to pick for? Who am I going to pick for Who Am I? It's not that hard. I mean, I am his brother, so I have that advantage. So you just got to think like him.
Stupid piece of shit. Yeah, the Sabelnka one. We spoke about him the week prior after he slagged off Andreeva. Said all that stuff about her. So you know what? Sabelnka, you're my man for the Who Am I. Not putting much science into this, Adrian. But I promise you next week will be Miami. I wanted to rug pull you both today, hoping you did some homework. Of course, you both didn't do any homework, so it didn't matter. But I will have Miami questions for next week. Could be about tennis, could just be generally about Miami. You never know. So just study everything about Miami. No, there will be tennis.
Okay. I'll watch Scarface. Brush up on
again.
All right. Thanks for the heads up. Appreciate it. But you can also go fuck yourself.
Yeah. No, it's not my first time someone's told me to go fuck myself today. It's not even on the pod. Work was great today. Adrian, parting words for your fans in the US of A. I mean, by now they've probably just given up on you, but anything you'd like to say to them?
Look, I think Greg asked if we were going to do a live show up in Cleveland. So that's a possibility. I told him we're not ruling it out. Always a possibility. I think he's waiting for my next Who Am I and Brother Spuds victory. So it could be a while. Let's be honest. Once again, I will apologize to all of my fan, Greg. I will come back stronger next week. do some research, and maybe I need to get off the gram, the dick pics, and actually do some research. That might help.
Lay off the Lalo tequila as well that you've been purchasing.
Indeed. Yes.
Chris, anything you want to say to the bots who follow you on X?
No, nothing to the bots, but I will say to my devoted fans in Europe, in Hong Kong, in Australia, to my mate Andrew as well, who's been listening recently, that victory was for you. I'm going to keep them coming. All right. I'm going to take the pressure off Adam. Take the pressure off Adam as well from his terrible performance in the Who Am I's in his delivery. And I think the pressure has now been shifted onto Adrian. So this is a great moment, a great time to be alive, a great time to be podcasting for Talkn Tennis. I'm going to fucking reap the rewards and enjoy this rays of sunshine. But let's get the good times rolling, eh, boys?
That's an I don't know, I've never seen that much positivity coming from Chris.
It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting.
I had this warmth just radiate my body as I was saying. I never felt that before. I know it's that. Can someone describe what's this feeling? I don't even know. Anyway,
Chris. It's called not being a piece of shit.
Oh, is that what it feels like? Oh.
Fortunately, Age and I will never know that feeling.
No. I read about it on the forums.
Yes. Well, Chris can let us know what that is. Thank you, everybody, for listening to today's pod. If you've made it this far, what in the world is wrong with you? But thank you. We appreciate your support. Don't forget to follow us, Spotify, Apple, Podbean, Magic Bean, Hinge, whatever all those podcast platforms are that you listen to us on. Give us a little follow. We'll be back next week to wrap up Miami, maybe have a quiz about Miami. We'll see. And we will speak to you then. Good evening and good night.